Hey, the YouTube Chaos Cuber here. It has been a few days since my last video. I know I mentioned that I was going to be doing a cubicle unboxing, either in the comments, I think it was in the comments, 5 days from the airing of that video, but actually my cubicle order got delayed over the Black Friday season, and then we got home and I got a little bit sick. And now, I guess we're back with another video today. Basically, I'm recovered now, and I have a quick unboxing to do with some flea market cubes, and also a quick order from eBay China. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Okay, well, if that's kind of a weird angle here, but I think that will do. Let's quickly get into this unboxing. Part of the messy desk here. But I guess I basically picked up about 15 random cubes from a flea market in Kansas City. Basically why I picked them up was a pretty good deal, and they had a bunch of them, so I just picked up a good variety. Without further ado, let's get right into them here. First up, we actually have a picture cube for platform higher education. I did solve all these picture cubes. These picture cubes were not solved when I first got them. Hopefully the autofocus actually behaves here. Not even checking that. But as you can see, solved, this was actually pretty difficult to solve because of all the little kind of plain sides with the white lines there. They have to kind of line up. But it was an interesting and challenging solve. First turns here, or at least after breaking it with one solve turns. Turns a tad bit better than the dollar store cube, but not by a lot. Very poor turning. And that's what you get. I like collecting picture cubes just for the interest to solve, and then I guess it's an interesting thing to display because you really don't see a ton of picture cubes. So I have a few of them for display for my collection. This one here is actually probably the worst to turn, I believe. There are a couple sides that just really turn horribly. This is actually a casino cube from Kansas City there. Oceans of Fun and Mamba and just all these slot machine names on it. Pretty colorful, and it's a picture cube that I think melted a little bit, and it just turns like the worst ever. That was a really hard one to solve. Probably took me like 15 minutes. And as you can see here, I guess that's that. Next up here, we have a sealed in the box K-State picture cube. I actually have one of these, if I grab up here quickly, right here. And this one is completely flimsy, floppy, and kind of broken. So I used to solve that one a little bit until it got completely wrecked. And I have another one. I'm not really a fan of football, and I'm definitely not a fan of K-State or anything there. So I really have no affinity. So I just kind of collect random football picture cubes, whatever. So nothing there, but there's a K-State picture cube. I'm not going to actually take that one out of there since I already have one open. Next up here, this one's actually kind of neat. This is a Chuck E. Cheese promotional picture cube here, 40 years of fun. This one does not turn very well. Again, I think this is going to be a very common thing in this video. The cubes do not turn very well. But as you can see, it is a bit larger size, about 60 millimeters. It's a Chuck E. Cheese's picture cube. Next up here, here we go. Now we're getting in to some very classic speed cubes. If anybody recognizes this from back in the day, you know, back in the early days of cubing, back before you get any other cubes. This is the Rubik's brand cube. This is the first Rubik's cube. I actually don't have a lot of these. The newer model, I have a lot from the 80s, and I have a lot from the early 2000s, but that's actually going to focus there. There you go. I got to focus. But this is a Rubik's Cube just before they discontinued the actual stickered Rubik's Cubes. I have probably two other ones, but the stickers on those are very poor. So I picked up this other one here. I mean, it cost me about $1, so no loss there. And I have a nice actual Rubik's Cube for the collection. It does turn very fantastically, and corner cuts about 0. I mean, it's just really a good cube all in all. Next up here, this is actually one that I sold off and they regretted selling off. My old one actually wasn't quite as nice as this, but this is an original. Oh, there's a copyright date on this, but it's an original Square One from the very early 90s. I think 1991 is when these came out. If you can see right now, I did get into cube shape, but that is really all I know how to do in Square One. In the cubicle unboxing, I actually have some proper Square Ones coming soon, so I can actually start and learn how to solve a Square One. I have solved a Square One a couple times. It's just really not a puzzle that's interested me that much, so I really haven't done much with it. I sort of can intuitively do cube shape, but that's about it. But this one's really neat because it is the original Rubik's brand, I think, Square One, from the mid-1990s, and also in very nice shape. I guess I should talk about turning for a second here. The top layer and bottom layer are pretty stiff all in all, but actually I was pretty impressed at the crispiness and the smoothness of that middle slice. It's actually pretty nice. I don't think there's any springs in here, but all in all, it's a fairly solid Square One. I had one from think MF8 that was just really horrible before. So anyway, next up here, I have a 3-layer UFO or cheese cube. I actually got 2 of these, brand new. Just picked them up, and these are probably similar to the one I have already, but decided to get another couple to see exactly how these work. And I do kind of like these puzzles, so let's unbox these quickly, or unwrap them, I should say, and see how they work. Actually, just looking at it here quickly, I'll check if these are painted on or actually stickers, but there's a major flaw with that one right there that I didn't notice before. But let's just quickly look. These are actually stickers on this thing, and just first turns. Actually, that turns fairly well. I think it may be a non-tensionable mechanism. I'd say so. It's like a dollar store mechanism, but it does turn better than I thought it would turn, so that's actually pretty good. Neat. So anyway, I guess I have 2 of these cheese cubes. I'll keep this one in the packaging for right now. I probably don't need to unbox it. Let's try a quick checkerboard on there, and I mean, pretty basic. The top and the bottom are checkerboarded, and the other ones aren't. So actually, you know what? That's interesting. So I guess since it's 3 different layers, the top and bottom can be checkerboard, the middle layer doesn't change. So there you go. There's a 3-layered cheese cube. This one's probably, arguably, the neatest one here. I don't watch Game of Thrones, but I know a lot of people are into it. And this is a Game of Thrones promotional cube that's actually fairly uncommon. Kind of do with a mirrored viewfinder here. I'm trying to turn you around the cube. Basically, this is like a promotional cube for Game of Thrones. They sold these at some point. I'm not even sure which way is up there, but that's what it is, and it actually turns fairly well. This is actually a tensionable, kind of Rubik's type mechanism, but as far as picture cubes go, this turns a lot better than most of those, and it's quite an interesting cube. So I don't know, I've seen some of these promotional cubes for TV shows and all that. Haven't picked any of them up, but now I guess I have a Game of Thrones cube. It's also larger than normal Rubik's cube, probably 62 millimeters. So kind of oddball one. This one here is really an odd 2x2. First of all, you don't see a lot of picture 2x2s, and secondly, this one does not look solved barely. I mean, it does when you look at it, but just the weird elongation on the cars and stuff. This one took me a long time to figure out that I actually had it in the solved state, especially something like that. Let's see if I can get upside up. Does that look solved to you? I guess that's solved. So anyway, this is for some little children's TV show, and I'm not sure exactly which one. I did look it up before, but it actually has like a Lan 2x2 tensionable mechanism in it, so surprisingly, it actually turns fairly well. It corner cuts a little bit, reverse cuts just a little bit, and turning fairly well. So anyway, I got that solved, and I'm pretty sure that's how it's going to stay. I don't think that's going to be scrambled anytime soon. Just kind of an odd one for the collection. Right alongside my 1x1, there's this one cube that I don't get a lot of them, but they're actually really hard to solve. I don't know why, but I have this one here. This is a dodo cube, which I'm not sure if this actually came out of the box as a dodo cube or not. But first of all, this is the first thing that makes it really hard to solve, is just the turning. It's just like 0 out of 10. Somebody put like a marshmallow inside this thing, and it just turns like a slug dipped in sludge, covered in maple syrup. But anyway, this is a dodo cube, the hardest of all puzzles. That one's not solved. Unfortunately, I could not solve it. I mean, who can? It's really difficult. So anyway, next up here, out of the same company that probably brought us the cheese wheel, we also have a dollar store cube in beautiful, crazy, sparkly, rave, crazy color shades. So anyway, guys, I'm going to take this out of the packaging, and I'll show you the shades. Let's figure out exactly what the shades are. First impression, actually, it's no speed cube, but that's not a bad dollar store cube, I have to say. Which, I'm getting some pretty bad catching and stuff, but I just mean the turning initially is actually fairly good out of the box, and it doesn't feel quite as cheap as some I felt, and now I'm getting a lot of catching and stuff. Greenbrier International Inc. is who makes this one here. But let's just figure out the color scheme. First of all, we have silver metallic on the bottom, gold metallic on top, green, red, purple, and pink, I believe. So this is a really oddball cube, just a normal dollar store cube. And I was actually taken back what I say about the turning. It has like no reverse corner cut or anything, so it catches a lot on that very squared off corners. But anyway, crazy metallic cube, and I had to have that one for the collection. So there you go, I have a crazy metallic cube. Next up here, a couple small picture cubes. Might even be hard for my camera to focus on there, but this is a Spider-Man promotional cube there. As you can see, if I spin all the way around, I did solve this. It turns like most promotional mini 3x3s, 30 millimeters across, and doesn't turn exceptionally well. So there that is. And then we also have another little mini 3x3 here. This one actually has a really weird color scheme too. Has white opposite pink, yellow opposite green, and purple or magenta opposite blue. But just another little small 3x3. And then let's see, we have one more here. This one has some funky faces on it. And if I actually get my camera to focus, as you can see, just kind of weird heart faces or something on it. So I really don't know why I collect all these things, but this was sold at Hobby Lobby, I guess. And it's just a miscellaneous set of little mini 3x3s. So I guess I'll look for the collection also. So anyway, I guess last puzzle in the bag here. This is a Rubik's Missing Link, or should I say Ideal brand Missing Link from the 1980s. This one's actually a little bit faded, more faded than the two that I have, but the two that I have don't have the stickers on the top and the bottom. I think those are actually pretty hard to find, so I decided to pick this one up just because I had the stickers on there, as you can see, from the makers of the Rubik's Cube Ideal Toy Corp, 1981. So this is the Missing Link. This one is solved. Basically, if you don't know this puzzle, it just kind of turns top and bottom. And it's fairly easy to solve intuitively. So anyway, I guess that's it for the flea market cubes. I have one quick unboxing from China. I actually ordered this one about 4 months ago, and I completely forgot that it was out in the mail. It actually arrived after the trip, and I guess it's time to unbox it now. Came from China, and as with some of these packages, they take a long time. So without further ado, let's slit this open and see what we have here. If I remember correctly, I got a really good deal on this, and this is why I bought this. I think I paid $12 free shipping on eBay for this, which is pretty ridiculous. It's a vintage puzzle, technically, and actually it's even the original little bag thing here. This is not a V-Cube. This is an X-Cube 7, if you can see that correctly there. I bought it mainly just for the collector's aspect and also for the pillowed nature of it. As far as I know, X-Cube is a knockoff of V-Cube. Obviously, the package is very similar. X-Cube 7, the 21st century cube, the original X-Cube. X-Cube products are protected by the following patents. Yeah, that's probably true. I don't think so. I mean, I think as far as I know, they're a total V-Cube knockoff. And I'm not sure how their puzzles work or don't work, but there it is. I thought it would be really interesting to have a pillowed 7x7. And like I said, $12. How can you beat that for any sort of 7x7? So here it is, the X-Cube 7. Let's quickly get a different 7x7 so I can compare it here. This is a Moyu MF7 or MF7S. As you can see, the X-Cube is just a little bit larger. And also, kind of interestingly, it has a molding pattern under the stickers that you can see that looks kind of like an X. Let's just try first turns. I was going to say that, but I didn't say it for some reason. But anyway, let's just try first turns here. And as you can see, this actually doesn't turn horribly. I mean, I couldn't probably solve on this thing regularly. Lots of catching and the same as you expect there. Actually does have a little bit of corner cutting, so that's pretty impressive. But it's basically just a little bit larger than usual, pillowed 7x7. I assume it's about as large as the normal Xingshao 7x7, which I've had one of those a long time ago, and I haven't had one in a while. Definitely some catching issues in the center layers, but I'd expect this more for collection purposes, and not for anybody who really want to solve this. With a little breaking in, though, I think it could be solved fairly well. Let's just do a quick checkerboard pattern on here. And let's see here, having some catching issues. The center layer, but that should be totally doable. There we go. It's all right here. And there you go. There's checkerboard on the X-Cube. So, I think that's about it for this unboxing. I think my audio actually cut out there at some point, so I guess we'll see how much of that is saved. But thanks for watching this quick unboxing today. Stay tuned for more videos in the future. KS Cuber out. Goodbye.